seems long dead. Winter's chill had settled in the bone. Another later. But thawing ground gives way to sleeping roots. A whispered tip, a forgotten clue. Dusting off the long forgotten suits, a single thread to pull the story through. The spring equinox brings the scales to bear. Justice marches, truth takes to the air. From frozen silence, a triumphant sound. The verdict's written on the waking ground. The witness stand, a garden newly tilled. Each memory a seed now forced to grow. The web of lies so carefully distilled begins to fray, the hidden colors show. The spring equinox brings the scales to bear. Justice marches, truth takes to the air. From frozen silence, a triumphant sound. The verdict's written on the waking ground. The blindfold lifts, the sword is raised, no shadow left, the price is paid. The verdict's written on the waking ground. Justice marches, justice marches. Renewal comes with the turning tide. And in the spring, there's nowhere left to hide.
Hello, and good morning, everyone. It is good to see y'all today. How are you? I hope you guys are all doing amazingly well. Whoa, what a day yesterday was. Holy moly. If you are just joining us, do me a favor, swipe down, hit the thumbs button, come back in. We're not going anywhere yet. We have got a lot to cover today. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a serious question. I know I'm not the only creator digging into the Idaho 4 case in regards to the documents, the pictures, what doesn't make sense, yada, yada, yada. And I know you guys are out there watching other creators. Tell me, did you guys see Birdie last night? Drop a 1. I'm just asking, because I had a chance to watch probably about 30% of it, as I was extremely busy last night. And I thought to myself, you know what? I haven't watched Birdie in a while. Let me jump on there. And lo and behold, he begins talking about something that we had talked about a long time ago. And I wondered if this was even possible. And another creator had been talking about how in the world did the audio get blasted out, okay, from the 112 security cam. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, there's more to this. It goes beyond than what he shared, what this other guy shared. And I think Senior Wazowski. Yes, thank you, Caleb. And it was awesome last night. Absolutely. And I don't get a chance to sit in lives very often anymore. So I was actually, my husband was doing something different, which gave me a little bit of time to do something. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to take about 40 minutes and I'm going to try to catch up on the live. And it was absolutely incredible what some of these people put together. But when I was watching it, I was very quickly reminded of something that made sense. And I thought to myself, holy crap, I know the answer to this. I know the answer. Well, at least I think I know the answer. And I went back, did some research, looked around a little bit more, and lo and behold, I bet you 100% Ann Taylor knew this, because not only did she say there were bits and clips and pieces and text and missing footage, I think that her private investigator for the defense knew exactly what was going on. And here is what I think. I'm going to welcome everyone in. Drop your thoughts below on Birdie's live stream last night. He shared the Senior Wazinski, like Mike Wazinski from Monsters Inc. And he did share Mark, which makes sense too. But I was more enthralled with the speaker and the intercom. And yes, those cameras do have the ability to do it, like Ring or Blink or a couple of other different ones out there in the, camera world. So I just want to say welcome in, and I have got some not bombshells, Phoenix fireballs. What am I talking about? Forget bombshells. This is like the ultimate. Speaking of fireballs, who has been watching, and I've been watching in nauseum, who has been watching these meteor slash fireballs all over the internet? Drop a one if you have been watching these. It is wild. Okay, so the only reason I bring this up is my husband and I are on the back patio last night, and I came in just for like a split second, just a split second. And he comes running in. Oh my God, I saw a shooting star. And it was not like a shooting star, because we always see the SpaceX go up in the air and fly over Arizona. But guess what it was? Guess what it was? What we saw in our backyard flying over, of course, I've done some deep digging, was on its way to California. So it was going out west. And it is absolutely wild. So, some people are talking about NASA. They confirmed a green fireball. These are just days ago, all these videos going up, the coincidences, signs in the skies a week ago, a day ago, the green fireball spotted over California. Now, this one that we saw was going west. So I'm still looking. There is actually a lady out on the TikTok streets that does some watching of what NASA puts out for fireballs in the sky. And see, this is not just, it happened, just days ago. This has been going on for like the last week, 16 days. Fireball from the sky. It started in Ohio and Texas 3 days ago. And people are saying it's not a meteor, it's stuff falling from the sky, satellites, whatever they want to say it is. There is stuff, aliens, there is stuff happening in the sky, guys. If you're not like following what's going on, there is stuff happening up in the skies. And I wouldn't have believed it if my husband didn't actually see this. And I think this is the one that we saw going past Arizona all the way to California. And it was just absolutely incredible. The Meteor Society, and I think this is the one, he was just flabbergasted when he saw this. And this is coming in from different areas of California. So this would probably be the one that we just saw the other night. And wild stuff going on. What do you guys think about these fireballs? Whether it's whatever you think, it did look like a shooting star. Yeah. If you guys have not seen this stuff, If you've got not seen this stuff, look up. We are totally stargazers, guys. We would pack up for the weekend and just go to the mountains or go to the lake. We would pack up for eclipses. I mean, just look up. Look up in the sky. So we are going to be hitting it hard today. This changes everything in the Idaho 4. I'm going to welcome you all in. Lola Garcia, good to see you. Caleb, Artsy Gal in the house. We got some OGs. Rebecca, I love your Puerto Rico sign back there. Susie Littleby, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It is hump day. Hump hump. K-Cats girl, welcome in. Inked Mama, all the time. Good to see ya. So ready for these Phoenix fireballs. Yeah, speaking of those fireballs, I missed everyone. Unfortunately, I have a pneumonia on my birthday. Brenda, I'm so sorry. I pray every single cell in your body comes into alignment with wellness. And anyone else who needs to receive that right now, receive it in good faith. I'm telling you, good vibes, healing vibes out there for all of you. Nobody needs that BS, especially the flu I heard's been going around. Amanda B in the house, welcome to the nest. I love how she welcomes everyone in. And hit that thumbs up button. Hope everyone's having a good day. Misinformation in the house. So many OGs. Lulu Bell's in the house. Yes, we do have the savvy nesters in the house and trendy mods. I love them. They are the best mods on YouTube, hands down. They are amazing. And just for food for thought, I don't talk to my mods as much as you guys think, and I don't tell them what I'm going to talk about. Very rarely do I ever tell them what the theme of the day is or what I'm talking about. And I think that's what makes this exciting is they don't know what I'm going to drop, and they're here just to hear like everyone else. Artsy Gal, welcome in. Nora, good to see you. Brenda, I sure hope you're doing better. I hope you're doing better. Yeah, Birdie was awesome last night. Senior Wazowski, let's get into it. A lot of creators on YouTube just present opinions, but I appreciate you always bringing facts with the receipts. Thank you. That is how I built my channel, on integrity. If I have nothing to show you, then we need to be talking about something else that I can show you. I normally watch Birdie. I'll have to catch it on the replay. Yeah, go watch the last maybe 35 minutes of it. I was popping in there and saw a few of you in there, and I was like, yeah, check that out. It's good. His presentation of seniors info was very precise and clear. Yes, absolutely. Welcome in, Glenn. Welcome in, Jasper. Hello. A satellite could have dropped from the sky. Absolutely. Debris could have been almost anything. Have you seen the $6 Vimo video yet from Dylan and Police Never Asked Questions? No, I have never seen any video ever on this topic. A comet is going to hit the sun soon. Whoa, really? A comet hitting the sun? Is that why we're getting so many CMEs? What happened if a comet hit the sun? Let me see. Have you ever wondered what happens if a comet slammed into the sun? The answer is we've already seen it. Comets that pass too close to the sun are called sun grazers. Most of them will never make the impact, and they vaporize long before touching the surface. Temperatures near the sun reach over 2,000 Celsius, turning ice, dust, and rock into glowing plasma. But sometimes large comets do crash into the sun. NASA's SOHO spacecraft has captured dozens of these impacts of comets. They vanish in an instant, swallowed by a solar flare. The explosive is massive, yet for the sun it's barely noticeable. One comet means, compared to the sun's star mass, it would be something the size of a planet that would even make a dent if it comes close to falling into the sun. But for our star, it just speaks another spark of infinity, like a big, huge blast in the sky. Wow. I never would even look at something like that unless you didn't say anything, misinformation. Wow, aliens. I have a theory on aliens. Drop a one if you guys want to hear my theory on aliens. I know it's out there, but tell me if you want to hear the theory on my aliens. My daughter told me about it. We joked that the target was Gruesome Newsom in California. Oh my God. I'm not an alien, I'm a monster. Senior Wazowski, welcome in. Awesome work. Fantastic work. But I'm going to have to uh, uh, match you and raise you too. Okay. So I'll cover this one first since you're in the house real quick. So my theory, since everybody's dropping ones, my theory on aliens is they are not real. I mean, they are real, but they are not what you think. Okay. And my theory on aliens is they are the elite people of our world who have created this to keep us living in fear. And all the technology that the aliens have, we have. And that would be the elite. Because I will tell you, I have a truthful source that knew about these freaking massive drones the government was making 15, 20 years ago. And these are not the little drones that you see in commercial spaces, in retail spaces. We are talking about massive drones, like airplane size drones, flying drones, all those other things. And I have seen myself, and I have it on video. I have seen myself what a spaceship by our government looks like. It is massive. And if you ever saw this in the sky at night, you would think the aliens have landed and taken over, folks. I will share that video one day because a lot of people still don't believe it. I will share that video. Now, Jasper says, I saw a meteor go right over my dad's backyard just east of Toronto about 10 years ago. Now I'm one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. Okay, that was one of the most exciting things. Yeah, we've seen meteors all the time. You know, in Idaho, we would see them all the time. On 4th of July, we thought we were seeing a massive firework, but it was actually a fireball. It was a fireball. Oh my God, it looks like a shooting star. I'll have to check this out. Massive clear skies. This is what I believe Brian was watching. Torrid, not simply stargazing. Possible. Very possible. Arizona sky is gorgeous. I could see the Milky Way from my backyard, guys. No freaking joke. We have no light pollution. Well, I should say no. We have tiny light pollution. Do they land or they burn up? Most of the times they burn up. Massively burn up. Yeah, absolutely. I love to stargaze. When I lived in Japan, we stargazed too. Yeah. And when I lived in a little tiny island in the Diego Garcia in the middle of the Indian Ocean, stargazing. I have been a stargazer since I was young. Two-party consent laws are why these cams are not recorded audio. These cameras only support live two-way audio. You can hear talking during the live view. Video only recording motion clips. Absolutely, senor. And do you know the individual that called into the police department? I'll get into it. Let's just get into it so that I can close this one out and we can call it a day. There was a request, and that was to grab all the speakers from the 1122 address. They wanted all of the speakers from the 1122 address. Now, remember, these kids that lived in those three houses, we're talking 1112, 1126, 1122. They all partied, they all knew each other. How do we know if they weren't linked to their Bluetooth devices on the portable speakers? I mean, you remember and if you don't remember, I'll show you the call that Officer Rosendahl goes to with another officer, and he says, I can hear the speaker from this other place up here. And I don't know how he saw the speaker. That was like phenomenal 2020 eagle eye, whatever. Or he was hearing an audio speaker back there. But he says, I see this big, huge JBL speaker. Okay, I'm going to put the comments on the screen because I can't see them very well where they're at. He says, this is a JBL speaker, and we are going to get this house over here. We're going to go look at it. It was a noise call. Let me grab it. Connor should put that one up on his repository. That would be so helpful. 1122 King Road. And he walks up there and he says, basically, you know, got a complaint. I was just at this, goes and says, yeah, he's got this big, huge JBL speaker that he sees. Now, I'm just going to say this to be very clear. There may be some connection to all these speakers. And the guy who calls in the Moscow Police Department is actually the sister that lives at 1112. So the sister lives at 1112, and the guy, her alleged brother in this report, goes and calls the PD and says, look, I need you to make sure that you get this video camera before someone erases what's on it. I don't know if you guys remember, but I have it in the report. Let me grab it. Because he says he really wants to make sure that no one erases this. Okay? Because she gave him the SD card. This brother had already known about the viewing. Was the brother remote viewing at the 1112? Was the brother remote viewing, and that is how the speaker got picked up and recorded? Because, see, you can drop in on anyone's Ring camera. You can, I mean, once you gain access, if they don't have a VPN, there are ways to gain access to people's Ring cameras. The cops can gain access to your Ring camera. Okay? So, the SD card was given to Gunderson that day. Okay? Now, if there was a informant in any of these houses that was listening into these houses for surveillance, that would be a way you can surveillance them. All right? It's not necessarily a stingray. This, you don't have to do this on a stingray. You don't have to. If you can get into there, and who says that they weren't hacked? Who says that the brother didn't have the access code and kind of knew what was going on? Okay? We don't know. This is speculation. But the brother allegedly did call into the police department, said that he needed to make sure that that camera was not, the footage was not erased. He was very concerned. Now, hopefully everybody heard that. Everybody remember that MPD document I went over. I'm going to have to find it because I don't have it on reference. I just thought about it when we got on. And Amanda, if you have that document by any chance, it was the security camera supplement. They accessed the camera, and I'm still looking for it. And we still haven't seen the digital footage from the actual campus. They have never showed us that at all. I don't know if anybody FOIA'd that, but you know what? I've come to the conclusion. I've asked for 47 FOIAs, ready to pay for anything that they require, but no one, I've got one from the ISP that answered me back. That was it. I have a feeling they don't want me to have any of these FOIAs, and they're releasing them and dropping them to other people at random. Is that too much to say that that is possible? Anyone? I feel like they've already researched me. They got my IP address. They know who I am. They know I'm going through these with the fine tooth comb. And they're like, nope, she ain't getting them. So if anyone is listening, see if you can FOIA that freaking uh, camera from the college in regards to the security that they have in one of these supplements. Okay. So the light bulb camera, I think it's sequence 88. Let me just double check. When they had this whole debacle with the light camera, right? They had to uh, get the SD card because they couldn't access it on the web, the files. Then they go and they have the police department try to access these and clip these 5-minute clips together. And then Anne asked for that and they said that it was broken. And then she goes out and says, no, you need to repair this. I need this footage. And yeah, just, I got you, Amanda. And so they had to go back and forth. And then she's like, no, we'll pay for the camera to be fixed. We need what's on this camera. And I still don't think they got all the clips from the camera. So, I mean, this was the whole debacle because it had to be installed with the router. And I mean, this had to make sure it was functional. Then Payne has to go back over there and do everything he needed to. It was a big mess. And this was still going on in December when they still hadn't had much. This was the 22nd. The 22nd, which does not make sense. And this is a Phoenix fireball moment, guys. Drop that fireball because on 12/22/22, remember Payne said he was going to do this, and this for Thanksgiving, and he was going to do all these other things. And he comes back and he says on 12/22, all this stuff with the camera, all this stuff with the video, but they released Koberger's name on the 19th and arrest him on the 31st. This is wild. They still did not have everything they needed to push this through. That's when they did the audio comparison, yes, to the canine sounds and the drive-bys, yes. And this is the day they needed to make sure this camera was plugged into the router and functional to be able to get this download, okay? Because there was I hear a crack in the light bulb base and the mount became loose. It should be noted that the temperature was between 5 and 9 degrees. I previously installed a new SD card into the camera, powered on the router, the camera, yada, yada. It was functional. And then on completion of all the data collection, I powered off the router that they seized. Well, they didn't seize it in a warrant. They actually handed it over at 1112. Okay. And this was the comparison right here to the audio and the barking audio comparison for the residents. And that was pretty interesting because then he says, upon returning to the police department, I was able to download the videos collected and they were saved to the server located in the secure forensics lab. Okay, so they got that. They got the comparison for the audio. They got the camera, yada, yada, yada. But the brother that obviously called in and said they wanted to make sure that no footage had disappeared. I don't know what he was alluding to, but I think, in my humble opinion, I'm going to suspect that this brother was actually watching, and perhaps that's how it was recorded. And if those speakers were hooked up, any of these speakers that I showed you in the evidence, any of these 3 speakers, if they were hooked up, because people kept saying they heard dogs barking, but if Murphy wasn't there, then whose dogs were these? Was it an echo? Was it the one picked up by the intercom or by one of these speakers? Were any of these speakers connected that night? That's my question. Those are the digital footprints that we talk about every single moment. This changes everything. Maybe the stream wasn't a video of this. Maybe the stream was audio related. Fireball moment. And maybe those speakers were part of all this. Now, I'm going to get pretty heavy into this because I'm just obviously in shock, as most of you are, in regards to some of the technology that wasn't used in the Idaho 4. And I'm going to go over this because I think it's really important. And I am sticking to the neighborhood. When we talk about what doesn't make sense, I mean, would you rather have something that makes sense than some perhaps alleged made up story that we have been bought and sold into for the last 3 years? Not the mainstream media, but now looking individually at all these data points, all these digital points we've got now. Pictures, we have videos, we have audios, whether they're accurate and authentic or not, we just see exactly what they've laid out for us. Now, there's no new audio video today from Connor. He hasn't uploaded anything. And who's to say? We know that there was undercover agents there. Obviously somebody was undercover there. Someone in, maybe even 1 or 2 or 3 new people in the neighborhood were undercover. Maybe they were past graduates that had joined the FBI in the area and put on this assignment. We don't know. And that's why they're trying to keep these FBI undercovers protected in the new documents, that they're not going to release these other names, because they've already released 6 names. Okay? Yeah, it sounds underwater because it's probably an audio recording of a speaker or an intercom, some way, fashion, or whatever. Now, don't get me wrong, but when I go visit friends, I connect to their Wi-Fi. If I'm in the area, I'll connect to their Wi-Fi. If I'm outside their house within a so many distance, I can connect to the Wi-Fi. And that is just like connecting to a Bluetooth speaker. Okay, when you connect to a Bluetooth speaker on your phone, all right, just hopefully everybody has done this and you can do an example on your own. You connect to the speaker and then you are on audio in or out. You pick up your phone, you can actually hear what's going on inside, like a repeater. I don't know if you guys know what a repeater is, right? It picks up sound and it go ahead and repeats that sound so that you can hear it like a speaker. And that is what a repeater is. Okay. And I'm not talking about like a wireless device. I'm talking about big data communications like in the military. Okay. So we're talking about communication devices. I mean, that's what I used to, work with, satellite and repeaters. So this is what a repeater, a wireless outdoor repeater, kind of looks like. And it sounds like, when you pick up stuff, it sounds like a big, huge speaker. The government uses them. Okay, they're relay stations, repeaters. And when you start understanding, yes, they do. They often use this because that's how they listen in to some deals that go down. Okay. And you don't necessarily, I mean, you can call them stingrays. Absolutely. That's the official, I guess, I want to say industry standard for stingray. But it's very simple when you look at this and you figure out, oh yeah, it was like a huge speaker. Okay, it'll pick up everything and it'll reverberate that sound back. It's kind of like an ultrasound. If you've had a baby and you go into the doctor's office and they're looking at your belly and they're putting that ultrasound on there, it's not that sound is showing you what's inside. It's a picture of sound. Ultra sound. It reverberates that sound inside and it shows you. Now, on this side of what I'm talking about, it actually will let you listen, so you can actually hear the heartbeat of the baby, even though if they didn't have a monitor, you wouldn't be able to see the pictures. but you would be able to hear the heartbeat of the baby and the whooshing sound inside the belly. And that is exactly what sounds like underwater on these recordings. Okay? They are expensive. And that's why I said when I worked in intel and communications in the military, that is what we used in big, huge data centers at satellite offices that would bring sound to where we need it. It's kind of almost like sonar, too. Brings sound right back to where you need to hear. And they are amateur radio stations. Yes, there are. They use ham radio. Absolutely. Okay. Now, senior, you said something about boom, boom, boom. Hold on a minute. You got a lot going on in here. Something about 88. Hold on, let me go back. Phoenix, you got an email. I'll send you my internal Baltimore memo about stingrays and you can show it on the screen. Okay, that sounds good. Now, that's the way I would explain it, like a 5-year-old, to say, you got something in your belly and yada, yada, yada. I thought I saw 88. Did I not see MPD something? Hold on a minute. Someone MPD 22. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I could find that one. 22. All right, and I'm going to go over this one on 108. So let me see if I can pull up 22 because it never pulls it up in order. It's all over the place on these supplements. So 22, 6. Give me 1 second, guys. I want to find the right one. 22. That's 73. Hold on. I wish they would have just put them in order, but obviously no one decided to do that. 22. I have one huge document on MPD and they're not in order. So give me 1 second. And how are you all enjoying spring right now? Drop it in the chat. Woo, we had a hot week. Hopefully the hotter weather will be gone for a few more weeks. I need to do me some more traveling, go see some family during this hot season. We try to get out of here. And what was 22 about, Senor Wazinski? 22, let's see. Any recollection? Let me see if I could see. Phoenix, need your correct information, Munson. Oh, yeah, I got your email, sweetheart. I got it today. I'm going to go ahead and Munson you back. I got a gift card for you because some of the items that some of my favorites on the beauty products could not be mailed to her P.O. box. So I have to send her a gift card. She was our lucky birthday winner. 22. 22. I don't know the page number. This is a little frustrating. Let me see. 22. What was it about? About the 1122 cam. Okay, hold on a minute. Gosh, why are these not in order? I might have to go back into the individual ones. Hold on. I like them when I can search all of them together, but they jump from 50 to 224. All right. Here we go. Let's see if this is it. Getting closer. I feel like I'm playing hot potato here. Vinegar. All right, hold on 1 second. Hold on for me, guys. Okay, senor, my email is phoenixinvestigates@proton.me. All right, so when we look at this video cam and you're listening to the sounds, I think what we're hearing is either the brother of the girl who lived at 1122 actually was watching. And remember how I always said on the Linda Lane that it sounded like there was somebody in the background breathing heavy? That could have been streamed right there from the camera itself, from the app, and whatever reverberations that they were listening to, it sounds like they're underwater. I think that probably is what happened. That's what I'm thinking. Now, what are you guys thinking with the new information that you learned yesterday? If you watched Birdie or Senior Wazowski's videos, what did you think of the sound? The whooshing makes sense. The whooshing sound, it sounds like it's on an intercom. But if somebody actually had the app and was on the intercom listening, that would be able to be picked up on just like recording your phone or recording a camera picture of it. So obviously someone got it. Breathing heavy, watching, taking joy in listening to what was going on. And we've said that before. And those were the real stalkers. I mean, in my humble opinion, yeah, they were stalking someone. Now, was it Kaylee or Maddie? Kaylee was said to be, passed first very quickly. I believe agents of the state were monitoring cams in the neighborhood. Possible. Very, very possible. Absolutely. It is wild. But remember, they were surveillancing Koberger. They were surveillancing him. We knew about that. How did we know that? They admitted to surveillancing him. He was under surveillance. I believe he was under surveillance. I never seen a bolo for any guy in a white Elantra traveling from the Pacific Northwest to the East Coast at any time in 2022 of December. Anybody? Has anybody or does anybody remember a be on the lookout, a bolo? No, it was internal. And I still believe it was because Koberger knew of the projects he mentioned in his interview with the Moscow Police Department, the projects they were working on at WSU, and the projects they were working on at the police department. There's no coincidences, folks, in life. Everything happens for a reason. And I'm going to give you one reason today to question if this changes everything in the Idaho 4 case. Okay? Someone was surveillancing someone, whether it be legal or not, whether it be state agencies, local, cartel, whatever you want to say. Someone, guys, creepy, perverted guys, you know what I'm saying? Like really creepy, perverted people out there. They are out there, guys. We live in a dangerous world. And if you have cameras in your house, I know you guys have seen some of these cameras now. You guys have seen news clips and articles and hearings and court cases where freaking creepers creep into their kids' baby cams. Okay? Drop a one if you've ever heard of these cases. They're out there. It just happened a few years ago that these it just I want to choke. It makes me think and barf. It makes me think that honestly, the people that are invested in making these cameras out there to make the public think that we're going to be safer, they're actually doing it for nefarious crap. Think about it. If they can get into a hack a baby cam, They could hack into a baby cam. Well, mom is in there nursing. Mom decides to change. Mom and dad decide to maybe have a little hanky panky. Who knows? We're putting cameras inside everywhere. Just don't put them in your bathroom, guys. We're putting them inside our bedrooms. We're putting them in the most private places in the world, in your home. I mean, I know it sounds a little creepy. I know you want your kids to be safe. They're hacking into cameras and exactly like Roblox and Xbox and Nasty Box and all these other boxes out there, folks. It is unbelievable the amount of technology that is getting into places that can be used for bad things. And I don't mean to be on a soapbox about this, but think twice before. I mean, even our own phones, okay? Even our own phones, our own TVs now. And I refuse to upgrade my TV. When my TV will no longer upgrade or support anything, I think I'm just going to stop watching TV altogether. That's just me. Damn it, Jeff. Please don't tell me Jeff is in here. Please don't tell me. Okay? Jeff, you're just not wanted here, honey. Damn it, Jeff, just go away. Okay? And I know the internet is for everyone, but it's not for everyone here. And I'm trying to be nice about it, but it's just creepy. It's absolutely creepy. Like people having 10 accounts to go spy on different people. It's just freaking creepy. I have problem managing one account, let alone two, right? I mean, honestly. Now, if a 3-letter agency can pick up everything, or the Nest, or Siri, or Alexa, or whatever name you want to name her now, they can pick up all kinds of things. Before, it used to be on landlines. They would listen into landlines, but you can't anymore since everybody got rid of most of their land. I mean, drop a 1 if you still have a landline. I am not against technology, folks. I am against technology being used for nefarious reasons. Okay? I want to be very clear on this. I grew up in the 80s. I grew up with Apple IIe, programming, chess, and all kinds of other stupid games like Pong and learning code. And, I mean, I am a techie baby. But today, this tech is scary for our babies. It really is. Okay? I miss the days, I don't know if you knew this, but I miss the days that you could actually from your cell phone text a landline, because my folks, my relatives were not going cellular at the time. I would text landlines, and yes, you could do this. I learned this in the military. I used to text from satellite phones. We couldn't have expensive calls overseas, and it was very expensive back in the day when I lived in Japan. We would text our landline relatives and tell them, this is so and so, everyone is safe, or whatever. I'm doing great. Absolutely. We played interesting things when we were in our spare time on watch. So there you go. All right. So, just a little backstory there. I'm just telling you, nefarious things with technology, it's what worries me today. Yes, baby, I'm here. Just lay down. Go lay down. Sorry, that was my baby. Go lay down, Denali. Go lay down. Okay, so where were we? Now I'm so sidetracked. Here we go. Maori wrote this statement, Mr. Senior Wazowski. Maori wrote this statement, and Maori says, that's too large. Hold on. Go lay down, baby. Maori states that he was able to speak with A. She sent me various files, yada, 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 on the Twitch stream. Feed was previously downloaded. In the image shown on camera, it was found that the residence at Blank Road, the SD card, we know it came from 1112 on the corner. and was brought to the Moscow Police Department. So hold up a second. We saw Paige Carter hand it to Gunderson. So I don't know why they're saying the image of the camera was found at the residence. Oh, the image of the camera was found at the residence. The SD card from the camera was brought to the Moscow Police Department. So how did it was found that the resident, how did they get, but was the file system of the card was not recognized? The card was returned to the owner and reinstalled into the camera. Then he contacted the owner via phone, and C stated she was out of town, but sent a video to Officer Rosinski showing a figure walk to the dumpster and appear to look inside. Well, we saw that dumpster. We saw the guy walking around many dumpsters. To preserve any potential evidence on the camera, I asked C if we could seize the entire device. Yes. And she said she would contact me when she returns to connect the camera back to her Wi-Fi router and the video from the device. All right, so that was page 283. Let me put that in my notes, 283. That was Paige in the cam. Now, allegedly, there is another document where the brother actually says in the document, in the statement, that he didn't want anything to be erased, which I found like very odd. That, let me see if I could search this by brother. Sometimes it doesn't search, but no, that's not it. Nope, it won't search it by brother. There's got to be a keyword I could search to find that, but I've got it in my other notebook. I'll have to go hunting for that. I promise I'll get with you guys with that. Munson. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on. I promise I'll get you that document. I'll post it under my post so that you can see it. Erased or written over. You know what? Supplement 40 is referring to the Wi-Fi and the routers. Boy, you must be an expert at sound or networks, Senor Wazinski. I'm going to guess that you have some background in surveillance cameras too. So you're saying that 40. Search the SD card. She handed the SD card to Gunderson during Snyder's walkthrough. Snyder got that on camera. I've shown that before. She hands it right over to him. So, you know, and the SD card, look at the evidence logs. Look at the evidence logs. On that day, just like the knife sheath was not put into evidence on the 13th. It was put into evidence on the 14th. So when they were moving the bodies out of 1122, why did they not log the sheath when they removed the bodies into evidence? Yeah, that'll make you go, huh? What? Just like the, here's the proof right here. Knife sheath was logged into evidence on the 14th. Why not log it into evidence on the 13th? That's when they removed the bodies on the 13th. Look. All the evidence on the 14th. Where's the evidence on the 13th? Where's all the evidence from the 13th? Why is there no evidence on the 13th except for what they want you to see? Just names and contacts, and where's the evidence? Seriously. The press release said there was over 113 pieces of evidence. Okay? 113 pieces of evidence. Has anybody went through this? I know they're not giving us all of the evidence, but I'm just saying that sheath should have been booked on the 13th. Chain of custody. Anyone could have went in there and changed the scene, planted anything, and this is all alleged, but anyone could have went in there and done anything they wanted anything. The knife sheath was booked into evidence on the 14th, folks. The only thing that was booked into evidence on the 13th were item one CD pictures. Who waits? Who waits? Guys, I can't make this up. Wait till you see the next fireball, okay? There was no evidence booked on the 13th. Didn't I see CSI? Didn't I see people, MPD? Didn't I see them in the new video that came out on the 13th? They said that they were collecting evidence. They were receiving possession of a package or something of that nature. What is going on in the Idaho 4 case? Connor again does it for us. Idaho 4. Go to Connor on YouTube, drop his channel, and you see people. This is part one. They're backwards. This is part two. He's labeled them right. We see people on scene. There's the crime. We see it all. Wait till he turns around to the front door. He's got a pad. There's our guy, Robert. I mean,
it's crazy. Push key or push padlock. Yeah.
The next video, part two, they've got boxes all set up in there. Everything is there. Look behind the door. They got packages. They've got all kinds of stuff. Did they just go home and go to bed and let all this sit?
So I don't know.
I mean, alleged. Nothing was checked in. Nothing was looked into.
That doesn't make sense if somebody would remember.
Where is that?
Yeah.
You'll see it all behind this door. Piles of stuff they've already collected. Now, I've said this before, and you could disagree with me if you want. This looks like a cleanup crew to me, in my humble opinion. This is speculation, but this to me looks like a freaking cleanup crew, just like, okay, you guys are going to probably hate me for this, but that's okay. Moving day in the U-Haul by the police. Okay, in the 1122 King Road. Now, we all thought that was weird, right? Chief Fry gets the truck and they all go move them on moving day. That's what it seems like to me. Was this the cleanup crew? In my humble opinion. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But this just looks odd. It's one of those things that make you go, huh, wow. Maybe things are not what they seem. Because not only were they there the night before, they were there a long time after. Believe me, they were there the next morning very early. And I don't know if you guys noticed in some of these pictures, these guys were still there. They moved the little thing over to the side of the road. They were still there. They were blocking the area. And I just kind of question who were these people, right? And then when these guys show up to do the next move that Chief Fry and his officers didn't move, it just made me think, who in the heck moves stuff like this? Remember the mattress they said that was bloodied, and they're moving them in backs of pickup trucks. They weren't marked evidence. I mean, I don't see any tags on these. I don't see any, somebody says it was a bloody mattress in there. Who knows what it could have been in there? Who knows? We don't see anything. The other mattresses look fine, but they come in their pickup trucks and they start moving all their stuff. Okay? I don't think one person did this. It took a whole bunch of people to do this, folks. a whole bunch of people to do it right in front of our eyes. And I think it started this night when they were packing up the bodies. Then they go into the move the U-Haul. Then they move the beds in back of pickup trucks. Why didn't they have a vehicle to transport mattresses in the freaking crime scene investigators? Don't they usually have a truck, or they'll rent a truck or have some type of van for CSI that will move and remove these things from crime scenes? Yeah. Yeah, they were collecting evidence, and then they wait months to go back and collect more evidence, and then they destroy the entire crime scene, folks. Fry commented, and I shared this before, that he would never step into the crime scene and contaminate it. I don't know what he meant by that. I still struggle with that one. I still struggle. Now, in this one, that was the guys that were removing the truck, the bloodstained mattress removed from a home where Idaho students were slain. They removed this video. There's a lot of stuff being redacted. This is the guys moving the mattresses that look fine. They obviously took them to the crime scene, and they put them in the same crime scene as the Elantra. Do you guys remember that one? They put them in the same storage unit as the Elantra. Same exact one. Talk about possible cross-contamination of evidence. Is that even possible? There is ISP investigator moving a mattress. Never have I ever seen, this is ISP Gilbertson, moving a victim's mattress. Have you ever seen this? That is ISP Gilbertson. Okay. I've got an interview of him, and you all remember him from this interview, I am sure.
Joining me at the podium will be Bill Thompson from the prosecutor's office and the two lead investigators, Brett Payne and Darren Gilbertson.
On the left.
Just a couple of things. We recognize that everyone has a lot of questions.
Right here on the left.
We're going to try to do our best to get to as many as we possibly.
And there he is moving the victim's mattress right here in the blue. Okay, this is a great statement. They want cameras to see this in full world view. Okay, I'm going to have to say this. Finally, I get to say this. I have been holding back on this a long time. I am just going to be feisty Phoenix, accept what you get. This is for the whole world to see, this freaking corruption that has happened in Moscow, Idaho, folks. They think it's funny. They think it's funny to the fact that we watch these videos. We kind of already know what's going on, but now it's being very exposed what's going on. This is definitely psychologically fucked up, in my humble opinion. Okay? Because when you see a guy grabbing a knife off the floor, throwing it on the table, and then you see him sitting in a room and he chuckles and laughs, it's in plain sight. So not only does that mean the FBI's involved, the ISP's involved, all these other agencies are involved. For what specific reason? Hitting the bodies on the stairs, I showed you that yesterday. I let you come up to your own conclusion. I only show you what I see, and I let you draw your own conclusions. They are Munson. Yeah, I agree. It is very disrespectful. Yep, the ISP handbook, and I've gone over this with the ISP handbook on Amito Black. I've shared that with you. Yeah, I have never seen this happen in any of the cases that I have followed. Ever. We're talking about multiple agencies. Yes, Caleb. Multiple. And yes, he does chuckle and he laughs. And he even says this girl's name wrong.
Walk all the way over there. Yeah,
The text messages, whether just through Messenger or they through.
just normal message, iMessage or whatever.
You got your phone on you.
No, I can go grab it though.
Where is it?
It's just in there.
I'll do that in just a sec.
He didn't grab his phone to come and do an interview.
So how do you know Ethan?
I met him during Rush in college.
The same guy that says 17 holes on the golf course when Ethan has 17 stab wounds.
It's where you try to go into a house.
Is Ethan part of a fraternity? He is. Okay.
Yeah. And I met him there during Rush.
So if you haven't seen this interview with Hunter Johnson, you get my point. Go watch it. He chuckles. He chuckles. And all the gaslighting in this freaking case, all the gaslighting. I'm going to bring you to this document. And like I've always said, you can believe what you want. You can research what you want. I highly encourage everyone to. Don't believe everything you hear. Go read and see. Brett Payne. Brett Payne. And here's my point. Brian didn't do this. He's factually innocent. No DNA, no FBI. Everything doesn't point to Brian. Everything doesn't point to JD, and JD was allegedly arrested. Or suspect number one, not arrested. I misspoke. And then fingerprints don't make sense. There's 3 people that are similar. Hunter, Emily, and Bethany. Bethany is the one that finds the bodies. Bethany is the one that calls. Bethany's the one that's given immunity. Bethany is the one that tells Dylan, run down, even though Dylan has a charger. And lo and behold, everything that started this was always Pennsylvania courts never redacted any of this. That's how I got the doctor's name that did the autopsy. And then we see Dr. Singh step away from doing any autopsies for any of these counties. Any. Because someone could lose their medical license if there's something funny happening, guys. No one's going to put their life on in their career in shambles. Everyone from this case has pretty much moved on. All the evidence, all the samples, the fridge burns out. They go get one from the store and they plug it back in. They know the time frame that all these samples could be ruined in. Don't tell me that Detective Mowry, the one with the certificate from the Secret Service, doesn't know any of this with all the digital footprint. Don't tell me they all just don't know what they're doing. Seasoned investigators. You guys are going to want to have a golden egg for Easter. I don't know if anybody's read this. We're going to do it. This is Detective Payne's sworn statement under oath, if it means anything nowadays. Seems many people have forgotten the oaths that they took. 2/1/23. Koberger information and cell phone search warrants. As many times as people has talked about these. Many times. He says, number 1, I do a video canvas. I got all the camera footage from suspect 1. We go through all this, yada, yada, yada. They were traveling. They were going through the university cameras. They got all this stuff. They mentioned Koberger. They're going to go into Pennsylvania on December the 16th. They're going to go to where? Pennsylvania on December 16th. Payne said they didn't have his name until the 19th. Hold on 1 second here. Hold on. Anyways, there's one fireball. Payne was up there typing his name all over the place. He was told, obtained by FBI agents in Pennsylvania, showed the Elantra in Albright's, Pennsylvania. That was earlier than the 19th. They had it on the 5th. Yep, showed you that one. And then the documents from the court records. He states on the record under perjury on the 19th. But remember, they can lie. They're immune. All right? The 6 is upside down. It should be the 19th. All right. So then he goes and he tells you the background of Koberger and the FBI and the cast and all this other blah, 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 blah. All these steps that took place. And then he says, what we did do is we went back and got further analysis of the cellular data that showed the phone number ending in 8458 phone utilized cellular resources on November 13th, 22, which was the date of the murders in Idaho at 1122. And then they say, Payne says, it's consistent with the 8458 phone traveling from Pullman, Washington to Lewiston via Highway 195 at approximately 12:36 p.m. That's when, after he saw the car accident with the college girl Carmen Fernandez, I believe that was the name, he takes a screenshot, if you remember. I put this in a timeline. Takes a screenshot, and Vargas takes it off of the phone in her Vargas, V-A-R-G-A-S. She takes it off the phone and she states that here's all his calls, and he did take a screenshot of this one picture and off the website of her booking picture, her jail cell picture, and then he also took a picture off of Yik Yak. So this time that Payne puts in here is the time that they pulled this 12:36 p.m. he got on Highway 195. He left the residence. Okay. Now, I don't know what project, we're probably never going to know what project that he was working on, but for some reason, he gets in his car and he leaves his apartment at 12:36. How many people, I mean, just logically thinking, you just seen an accident, you see this person is at the jail. How many people take a screenshot of somebody's booking and then gets in their car and leaves their apartment? Who would do that? Who would get in their car and leave at 12:36 on a Saturday night? I mean, honestly, I mean, if I was 31 at the time, 28, and I was hungry, I mean, guys, we've seen his refrigerator. He had food to eat. He wasn't going out to eat. Okay? Very odd behavior. I don't think he needed gas in his car at 12:36. I believe, in my humble opinion, at this time, maybe he had a, I don't know, job to do. Maybe take a long drive somewhere, or the Meteor shower, or whatever that night. Okay, that makes sense. He wanted to get out and get some fresh air after seeing a traumatic accident, and maybe even hearing all this on the scanner, because Vargas said, yeah, he had a scanner. They actually looked up what he was looking at Broadcastify. I think it was Broadcastify. Yeah, they verified he was out carousing, maybe investigating things that he shouldn't have been, but they did verify he did. Okay? And in this document, it also states, get this, that at 12:46, he went, at 12:36, he passes Kate's Cup of Joe, and they've got the footage for that U.S. Chef store, and then the adjacent White Elantra suspect vehicle 1, it's called again, and then it passes Kate's Cup of Joe at the time consistent with cellular data. If you map this out, it's almost impossible, okay? Like he had 16 minutes to get to somewhere where it would take, 25 minutes. And you can map it out yourself. I ran the map. And then it says, get this, surveillance footage obtained from the Albertsons show him exit the White Elantra, not suspect number 1 again. They just say the White Elantra. First it was suspect number 1. Now it's the White Elantra. Consistent with suspect vehicle number 1. He doesn't say that Elantra is suspect vehicle 1. It's the way he worded it. He said Kohberger exited the White Elantra, and then he says consistent with suspect vehicle number 1. This is a play on words. This is the twist. This changes everything in the Idaho 4, guys. It goes on to say at approximately 12:49, surveillance cameras showed Kohberger walk through the store, purchase unknown items at the checkout, and leave at 1:04 p.m. in the afternoon. In the afternoon. Okay? And then Kohberger's possible path of travel is depicted below, not to scale. He was around the area. Additional analysis of records on his phone indicated that between 5:32 p.m. and 5:36 p.m., the phone resources that provided coverage to Johnson, Washington. Now here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Have you ever thought about why the phone tracking is so important and why no one has ever talked about this? Because here's the deal. Here's the phone story. Imagine your phone is like a little flashlight, guys. It shows where you are. The document right here is saying the phone, they say it was his, was moving around a certain night. It went from one town to another like it's going on a little road trip. It stopped at places like coffee stand, grocery store. So basically, we think his phone traveled this path and stopped at these places. Here's the car part. Cameras, like security cameras at stores, saw the White Elantra car. The car was seen driving near the coffee places, at the grocery store. So they're saying the car that we think is his was seen in the same places the phone says it was. Okay? All right? The store stopped. He goes inside the grocery store. The man says it's him, walked in, bought some stuff, left. We think he basically was there because cameras show somebody like him. And then the phone goes quiet. Later, the phone stops connecting to the network for a while. Like the flashlight is turned off. We can't see it anymore. They're pointing it out right here in this paragraph. And what happened around the time of the crime? It says right here, additional analysis of records, approximately 5:32 to 5:36, the cellular provided coverage in Johnson, Washington. The phone then stops reporting to the network from approximately 5:36 to 8:30 p.m. That is consistent with the phone being in the area that 8458 phone traveled in the hours immediately following the suspected time of the homicides occurred. Now, how is that freaking possible? Seriously, how is that possible? Because it means, let's put it together like a puzzle. Phone says, I'm here. Car says, I was there too. The camera says we saw someone like him. The DNA says that it was extremely connected to him. So those pieces together make us believe that he's the person responsible. It's like finding your footprints, finding your toy and your fingerprints all in the same place, saying that you were probably here. That's weak evidence. That's very weak. That could be challenged in court. And this report right here does not give the exact time of the murders. The phone stop reporting, it says, it's actually PM. 5:32 p.m. and 5:36 p.m. And then it goes on to say 5 to 8 p.m. Now, is this a typo? Is this a typo and they meant AM? Because this would change the whole timeline. Phone activity patterns immediately after statement. It says the murders occurred in the evening, 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And we know that can't be possible. This PCA, this report is just a bunch of crap, in my opinion. So explain if it's not a typo. This is where it's going to get interesting. I mean, the phone stopped reported in the evening, which would completely break down the known timeline. That raises a huge question of inaccuracy of this report, of the PCA. And why this matters big time is these tiny little details affect credibility, phone data interpretation, how precise the investigation. And it is, to me, like throw it in the bin, mix this shit up, and we've got word salad. This is a report salad. Misleading 101. Is this a typo? If it's just a typo, let us know. Or is it just sloppy reporting in a capital murder case? If they can mix up the AM and PM, what else is off? We're not looking at precision or assumption. The report says PM, but everything else says it should have been AM. Why is that so big? Why do you think that's huge? I mean, I could be devil's advocate here and say, would you accept your own typos in a case like this? Should life-changing evidence have zero room for confusion? What do you think? It's not just about AM and PM, folks. It's about how this case was put together from beginning to end. It's in black and white. When an investigator says immediately after they're building a story, it says the phone traveled in the hours immediately after the suspected time of the homicides occurred. That means they're building a story, cause and effect, but if the time is wrong, then the story must be wrong or invalid. You think this is a typo? Drop a typo in the chat, or do you think it's a red flag? Typo or red flag? Tell me below. Let me know what you think. I mean, when I caught this, I was like, this changes confidence in everything that they said from the get-go. All these tiny cracks matter. Every second matters. Every word matters. Every question matters. And what we just shared, it does not line up. It does not line up. We don't just repeat what we're told. We slow everything down. We zoom in and we ask these questions. That's what our community does. We're here to find the truth. We don't chase rumors. We're not driving into wild theories. We're looking at something small here. Most people would scroll right past it. 2 letters, PM. Because in a case where seconds matters, where the timeline matters, where everything lives and justice is on the line, even the smallest detail can expose the biggest questions. So I want you thinking, not reacting, not assuming. Everything I just brought you is one reason why this might change everything. Now, you know that I do write senators, I write congressmen, I write governors, I write attorney generals. I've never hid that from anyone. I'm not worried what comes. I'm worried for the American people and the bullshit they continue to feed us in cases like this. Humbly. They want to keep us in a state of confusion. And I believe they've succeeded for long enough. Now what? Little by little, it's being exposed. All right. I'm going to share with you the Baltimore Police Station cell site simulators from Senor Wazowski. Thank you very much for that share. Policy 104 draft was 10th of July 2024 by order of the police commissioner. You guys can take a screenshot. I'll take the comments off. I'll make it large for you to see it. Let me blow this up a little bit. And it's the policy of the Baltimore Police Department to utilize technology that aids in conducting through and complete criminal investigations. The purpose of this policy is to provide guidance on proper use of equipment. Now, remember, this is a draft. I've not seen the original. And it goes into talking about data security, professionalism and accountability, data disposal. All data captured from mobile devices not listed on the warrant shall be purged within 24 hours of collection. That is their guidelines. Prohibited use. No one outside of SAU can contact a cell provider for live locations, historical pen or wire. Any misuse, obviously, disciplinary action. So the simulator provides, the company that provides BPD with cell site simulator hardware and software, mobile devices that connects to cell towers, cell site simulator, tracking order by judicial review, true tested copies, that is authentication in the court's words. And then it goes through and says exactly what the rules, seizure and warrants, sensitive information, intel, a little bit about AT&T. Y'all can screenshot that, record it so you can go back and reference this. And this is, again, for the cell site simulator at the Boston. Other agencies, other departments may have different policies per state laws. That's the form they have to fill out. That's probably the application they need to use and sign by a judge. Yep. And an affidavit from the individual requesting the information. Pretty legit. It's probably standard wording for that state and what their policy is. Now, not all policies are the same across the USA, guys. It just depends on what the request is. And there it is. So, I mean, we could do a deep dive on that. We can talk about almost anything. But the main thing I wanted you to see was the reports from Payne, PCA that doesn't make sense, and everything else that follows under the sun in this case that could probably not change the outcome of the court, which obviously we know how a lot of you feel about that, but it could change the way you look at this case individually and the way you look at cases in the future based on the information shared. I'll give you guys 5 minutes of Q&A before we go, and definitely tell me what you think about a little tiny typo, if it was a typo. Wild and crazy stuff that you're probably going to be seeing in the next few weeks. The more people, and I say this all the time, what you focus on, you find. Now that we have more people focusing, you guys are going to find a ton of shit that we never would have even thought of. September Virgo, you freaking rock. Thank you so much for that donation. I appreciate you. Hey, if I see something, I'm just going to keep on bringing it. If I see something that doesn't make sense to me, I'm just going to keep on bringing it. And by the way, folks, something didn't make sense to me, especially in the documents, in Moscow document in regards to evidence. There was the west bedroom of Kaylee's. Kaylee's bedroom was immediately above Xana's, and the empty room was immediately above. The empty room was above Xana. So you have empty room, Xana, and Kaylee. There is, in fact, documentation. There was blood on the west third floor door. The west third floor door. I'm going to post that in my post on the YT so that you can actually see that information for yourself. And with that, if you guys have any questions, can internal affairs step in, or are they useless as well? Well, I believe mostly everybody involved in this case is gone. What would be the need to bring them on? You know, Justice for All, that's the website. We are having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for your work. Yes, Senor Wazowski, amazing work. Slap that button like Brian slapped on those clip-on fog lights and my commercial that I made. I still have to put that up in a separate interview, in a separate video. I'll do that. And, you know, give my mods a lot of love. I'll make a decision by Friday who our new mod will be bringing on. I'm going to announce that Friday. Friday, I'm going to have to go live and later on in the evening at about 4 Pacific Standard Time. And I will announce who our new mod is at that time. Please make sure to be on that live if you are looking to be a mod on Phoenix Talks. And you know what? To all the creators out there doing amazing work, getting the truth out there, good job. I told you a long time ago it was going to take more than one person to look at the documents, look at the videos, point out all the inconsistencies. Good job. It's never too late, Stella. Phoenix investigates at proton.me. And Senor Wazowski, it was a pleasure having you here today. Munson, I will get that gift card over to you right away. I just got your email. I am still backed up about 70 emails. So be patient with me. Be patient. And yeah, Brian Koberger has still not officially been charged in the repository in the state of Idaho, folks. He has still not been charged with 4 murders. And remember what the FBI said. They weren't getting involved because they don't think the killer crossed state lines. Man, I wish I had that video. I didn't have time to go pull all these videos today, but you guys are so amazing. He is still not in the repository for murder. You guys enjoy, be well, and I'll see you tomorrow.